everyone, my name's Emma. Today is our last video of January and we're going to be talking about manufactured landscape. I want to say thank you for joining me on this journey through January and for being present with the videos and learning alongside as I was learning. And I want to continue this journey through February. It is Black History Month and I want to be talking about documentaries and movies and books and the history of what has happened regarding race in America and how the foundation of America was built in with racism, and that we need to acknowledge what has happened throughout history in order to move forward as a country and as a united people. I encourage you to join me. There will be new videos every day looking into different topics and addressing what we can do as well to change the story. We inherited the story of America, but we get to choose how it continues. And Manufactured Landscapes is a good documentary to leave off on because it really does talk about how humanity has changed the face of the earth in many ways and has changed the lives of people all across the planet, and that many of us have no idea of what's happening and how things are created and how people are affected through the creation of these items and through the disposal of them. Manufactured Landscapes begins with the first 6 minutes being a camera shifting across an iron factory. Not iron, the metal, but iron, the one that you use to press clothing, to iron clothing. And it is just 6 minutes going across this factory. And the factory seems to never end. It is miles long. And then throughout the documentary, we see piles of dirt and piles of earth being dug into, mines that go miles into the earth. And these structures look almost alien, but they cover the earth in so many ways to extract gold and copper. So we can create a cell phone, so we can create these items that we use for only a short amount of time and then we throw away. So Manufactured Landscapes really looked at how we have manufactured the earth into being this place that is of complete use to people and is being moved through with no regard as to how it is affecting us, what it means to dump this many chemicals, what it means to completely destroy mountaintops to get to coal and to get to other ores that are present in the earth. And it is very unfortunate that many of us do not even know what these mines look like. I'll post some pictures here of how these mines look like, and we may be shocked that none of us have ever really talked about it or seen it. And the thing is, we need to be very well aware of what's going on in order for us to change anything. When we hear the words, like we said in Death by Design, that 500 pounds of raw material go into an 8-ounce cell phone, we might not be able to fathom how much that actually is. But when we see these huge mines, we might start to realize that we have absolutely no idea what's going on. And then think of any item that you use in a day. There's entire factories dedicated to mass producing it. People who spend 12, 15 hours a day in factories where they're not allowed to leave, not allowed to have livable wages so that this production can keep going, so that this consumerism can continue, and it all ends up being thrown out, and then somebody else in the world, or even the same countries that have to produce it, are made to deal with the waste. And then we have children living on top of this plastic, on top of these items, on top of this trash, and many people are falling ill to it. There's more rates of cancer, of birth defects than there ever has been in human history because of the pollutants that we're putting into air, soil, and water, and that we are not really caring about what these chemicals do on their own, and especially what they do when they are combined. And oftentimes when chemicals are combined, they create a substance that's much worse than the individual components. And when we realize that there's 80,000 chemicals that are used without actually really knowing what's in them, creates this very gloomy picture of what is going on in the world. And then, even then, we still have no idea that that is happening. And this is the goal of this channel, of sitting here and talking with you about this, is we can learn something about this. All the information that I've ever learned on this channel has primarily been from looking things up on the internet and educating myself on my own. I did go to school for chemical engineering and environmental studies, But a great deal of what I learned, even though it was parts of those two majors, was on my own. The teachers weren't necessarily recommending it, and when I tried to bring it up, it was oftentimes shut down. So fighting for this world means understanding what it looks like and understanding what is happening and understanding how every single choice that we make actually really does affect what is happening. Manufactured landscapes can be found on Amazon, and it is just a few dollars elsewhere on the internet. And it will be very eye-opening to see how many children are forced to work in these mines because there's no other way for them to receive any kind of money for them to live. They have to work. And child labor is a really big problem all across the world, and it is present in all of these mines and in many countries across the world. And the reason that they exist is so that consumerism can continue, and that is what the economy is based off of. So should we keep doing this because it's good for an economy? Or should we figure out something else? Because I think that human life is worth a lot more than money. It's worth a lot more than making somebody rich. It's worth a lot more than any item could ever be. And this isn't to say, well, you should never buy anything ever again, but really be considerate about why you're bringing items into your life. Think about it in the regards to the big picture. If you're buying something and you just throw it out in a few days and then you buy something else, what is that doing for you and for the planet? For you personally, you create this I'm just disposable mindset, or not only is the things that I own disposable, but the way I feel about things is disposable. It easily comes and it easily goes. We're not very stable in the thoughts and emotions that we feel. We constantly are teetering back and forth between different things. We love something, we hate something. We're not very impeccable with our words or our actions, and we need to really bring back the meaning of life and realize that there's many people that can consume at very high levels, and a lot of the times those people are some of the unhappiest. So we are consuming at this rate to destroy the planet, which is in turn destroying people, which is in turn destroying us. And then we are getting these items and we're going through them so often, and then those items continue to destroy human and animal life and the planet itself. And then we're not happy, and then we buy more items that make us happy for maybe a minute or a day or few days, and then we get rid of it. And now we're repeating this cycle. So we're all getting hurt in this system, but people aren't standing up, or people aren't even realizing that it's happening, and then the people who are standing up are being silenced because the corporations need to keep the economy running. And the thing is, the only thing that has effectively stopped climate change is the 2008 recession, and during those months of COVID where people weren't able to be producing things. That is when air pollution got better. That is when a lot of the world started to get better. So actually stopping production is what is going to create the world that we want to see. We can't just switch to renewable energy and keep on keeping on, because it is all a greenwashing scheme. We keep claiming that all of these activities, buying sustainable clothing, buying more energy, buying the Teslas, buying these electric vehicles, we're constantly being fed this idea that buying is going to fix something. The truth is, it's not. If we are going to buy something, let's buy something that actually teaches us something. Let's spend time with the people that are around us. Let's spend time with ourselves and make that a safe place. That's what manufactured landscapes taught me, that so many people are being destroyed by every decision that I get to make. And there's a lot of power in being able to make those decisions. When I make a choice, it affects so many people across the entire world. And I want to choose to make decisions that are helping people instead of hindering them and forcing them into situations that I don't even know that they're being forced into unless I do that hard work of sitting there and being present with this information. So check out the movie. There's a lot of intense and immense images of what is happening and the scale at what it's happening at. the size of what is going on. They do an amazing job at showing the scale. They zoom in at one part and then they zoom out, and then it is just covering miles and miles of coal, of gold, of copper, of these huge mines. And it needs to stop. We need to stop fueling these industries that are in turn making us feel bad, in turn making the world a worse off place, when we can choose to make it a better one. We can choose to be intentional with what we buy, with what we say, with what we think, with what we bring into our lives, with what we consume. And we need to do it with intention, an actual intention. So the choice is yours. It always has been. I hope to see you tomorrow with February and Black History Month videos. I know that the world can change and it can be a better place, but it starts with us all coming together, accepting what has happened and accepting that tomorrow, right now, gets to be different if we so choose to. Hope you got something out of today's video. I will see you soon, but until then, I hope that you have an amazing day.